I'm trying to think of the four guys I used to steal cars with in the neighborhood. But we started when we were like, man, I'd say 14 and a half, 15. And we would steal, remember the Volkswagen Beetle? They were easy to steal. You could hotwire them and pop the clutch and drive them around. We were 14 or 15, like 4 or 5 of us. We thought it was funny. We didn't sell anything. We just thought it was funny. It wasn't funny, actually. It was ignorant. So one night we stole one. It was down along the railroad tracks near the Aiken Avenue Bridge, kind of where I grew up in the woods there. And the cops came, and we all ran. And we ran along a moving train. Could have been killed. That's why they didn't chase us. So they grabbed one of my punk friends who ratted us out. He's dead, by the way. I won't name him, but he was a wonderful young man. And he ratted us out. And they came to my house, and the cops took me away. It's a true story. My mother cried. My father kicked me in the ass. Literally, physically kicked me in the ass. What's my point? I was 15, went in front of a judge, and my mother was in hysterics, and why wouldn't she be? I was headed toward a life of crime, probably. And the judge said, you're a good woman. He has a good dad. I think it's a lark. We're going to drop this when he turns 18, and we're cool. And I didn't do anything ever again like that. Until I was 18, my record was clear. I didn't commit another crime. That judge made the right decision. I didn't commit 14 more crimes. Like the kid who pulled the gun on his friends at the Ross Park Mall and said, go home. The judge said, go home, little boy. And he went home and grabbed the gun and stole a car and tried to kill everyone in the parking lot at Ross Park. That's the difference, isn't it, Jim? There is no common sense with these friggin' judges, is there, sir?
There's no balance. The scales all lean towards one way.
Right.
The scales of justice are heavily loaded to the left right now, heavily. The Judge Sizemore criminal crime wave that's running out on the streets, it wasn't one incident of car stealing or one incident, and then things were worked out. Mom and dad were involved, and you went back to a real structured household and with oversight and your dad whooping on your butt, you know, and keep tabs on you. And that's how it works. And you never went back.
Right.
These kids are going back the next day, 2 days later.
2 hours, 2 hours, brother. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. The Judge Sizemore's crime wave is real.
It is.
Do an accurate count.
It is.
You know, I'm seriously thinking about sitting down and putting a list together. And of all the kids that she has been dealing with, because I know most of their names, a lot of them are starting to come up dead. So by the time they're 25, let's do another check on all these kids she released. See how much good she did. See how much she helped them. I'll guarantee you above 50% of them are going to be dead or in prison.
Well,
Easy.
we had a list of 250 that are out in the streets that should be in jail, and 10 of them are dead. 10.
Yeah.
She's helping no one. She's helping.
Yeah, they don't
but there's
care.
8 of them. There's 8 of them, man. Come on, man. 8 of them.
Yeah, and then there's still 250 other kids out there causing chaos.
Right now.
This is how afraid this kid was of the court system. He left the court, stole a car, acquired a stolen handgun, and shot his friends at the mall. That's how afraid of the court system he is.
He did. And here we go. And that grown man in court that murdered those old people, all they wanted to do was help the man charge his cell phone. 30 years of crime they forgave him for. 30 years, sir. We have lost our friggin' minds, Jim.
You know, we still don't have any of those cases for all the gun store robberies, the keys that were stolen, all the gunfire, hundreds of guns out on the street, dozens of actors. Only one person made it through court, and he was all his charges were dismissed and dropped, and he was adjudicated to go to a 1 week how not to be a criminal class, and then he was set free. So there's like 50 other kids out there who never made it through the court system. They don't get subpoenas anymore. They don't want the victims there. They don't want the cops there. They want control. They want to send their criminal crime wave out onto the street.
Hold on,
so
man. How does this help them, man? How?
It don't.
Okay.
It don't.
Okay.
It's never going to help them.
Hey, before you go, these kids rob these gun stores and go home and watch SpongeBob. If the gun store owner violates one federal law with one gun and one application, they're done. Are they not, sir? Done.
They're done. It's over. And
Done.
you know, the funny thing is they were breathing down their neck awful heavy the last time they were down there. You know, but they won't answer any questions about the criminals, and they won't do nothing. You know, the district attorney was supposed to take this case,
Please.
and he just kind of like, I don't know.
Where is Waldo?
I don't know.
Thanks, Jimbo. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
We do this a lot because it matters a lot.
Okay, here we go. It's a Thursday. Yeah, man, we are getting closer to that weekend. I'm with it 2 to 6 today. Colin Dunlap, KDKA.
Man, this one's going to irritate you. I get this text from a woman before the show started. It's actually wild. I had a run-in with a woman at the Fairmont Spa for a mani-pedi. She said she had a car service to bring her to Cleveland, and they dropped her off in Ohio. She gave the same story. Wow. She's scamming people. She scammed me. So this all started with Mad Max giving a damn and staying tuned into crime and what's happening with illegals and ICE. And it underlines the ignorance and arrogance of this city's mayor and his ignorance of a criminal operating right now in Pittsburgh. And he's saying, we ain't working with ICE to get her off the streets. Listen to this story. Mad Max blowing my mind, brother. This is wild stuff, isn't it, my man?
You know what? If you didn't know me, you probably wouldn't think it was true, but it's crazy.
Lay it out, Max.
Insane.
This is wild, brother. Lay it out.
So I became aware of this because this woman checked into a hotel, tried to do it under false pretenses. I have relationships with several people in the area.
Yeah.
So it was brought to my attention. Anyway, long story short, I do a lookup on this girl, find out that she's done the same thing in San Bernardino County, California. She was arrested for it. I talked to the deputy yesterday, also in Chicago and in New York, and now she's operating in Pittsburgh. So her MO is she goes to a hotel, tries to book a room using a fake credit card or not a credit card, or however she does it, and then she skips out on payment. So as you outlined, you know, she did it with that spa services. She also tried to do a hair salon and get a blowout and skip out on them, which you sent me the text for that. The owner texted on your thread.
Yep.
So anyway, I called around to like 5 hotels yesterday, and I said, hey, have you seen this woman? Yes, she was here last Friday. She was here yesterday. She was here. Every hotel I called, she was in. So then I called the 5th hotel, which was on Grand Street.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, just by chance, I said, you know, there's this Indian woman going around in the area. She's scamming all these hotels. So they go, could you describe her for us? Said long brown hair, about 50 years old, has a tan top on with like tassels around the neckline. They go, she's in our lobby right
It's
now.
unbelievable.
I go, are you freaking kidding
on,
me?
Max.
So I said, you need to call the police
Yeah.
and have the police arrest her because she's a scam artist. And then I run around the corner. I positively ID her. And then in all of that going on, she leaves. I'm on the phone with 911 saying, you know, this woman has been in the area operating as a scam artist. She's done this in other states. And I'm going to follow her until the police arrive. Well, we don't have any police to send.
Oh.
And I said, well, I'm going to stick with her. I'm not letting her out of my sight until the police come and apprehend this woman because she's a criminal. So long story short, the 911 guy says, well, I can't recommend you do that. And I said, well, I'm going to follow her anyway. I don't care. And he got mad and hung up on me. So I called back, got a woman, and then I was relaying directions to the police where she was. Finally, we catch up with her at the Homewood Suites on Smallman Street.
Right.
The 2 officers interview her. She fails to produce a government-issued ID, won't cooperate with the police, and, you know, is making a big scene like she does everywhere else. That's her MO. So I said, okay, she's obviously, you know, Indian, whatever, heavy accent. Maybe she's not here legally, so
Right.
that's why she's not producing an ID. Let me call my buddy on ICE. I got him on speed dial.
Right.
So I put him on the phone with the local PD guys,
Right.
and he says, let me interview her over the phone. I have date of birth, I have name, but I don't have country of origin. If I can get country of origin, I can determine her immigration status. They go, we can't allow you to do that.
Wow.
We have an order from the mayor not to cooperate with ICE, or we'll be fired.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. So here, I got this woman,
Wow.
clearly in the area to commit fraud. The police wouldn't arrest her because no crime, no victim, nobody
She'd
or no
already
victim, no
punked-
crime.
She'd already punked several downtown hotels.
Right. But nobody filed a police report. So that's the other thing I want to stress to your listeners
Wow.
is if something happens, you need to call the police, regardless of how small it may seem. You need to file a police report because here is clearly a case where that would have been beneficial and we could have established a pattern with this woman. But, nobody has the time to call and follow up. So I'm the only guy out there doing it, apparently.
And they said, to hell with you. We're not allowed to work with you anyway, or ICE.
Right. And then so basically, my buddy was saying, this is a violation of the Lake and Riley Act, which was signed into federal law at the beginning of this year, which says that any illegal immigrant or immigrant person or suspected of being an immigrant, is committing crimes, has to be detained until they can be encountered by ICE and interviewed. So he cited that law. The police had no idea what he was talking about. And then, the fact that they blocked the federal investigation by refusing to let me bring the phone over to her and let him ask the question, what country are you from? They wouldn't allow it to happen.
Wow.
So they basically protected a person from local, state, and federal charges, potentially.
What happened? What happened to her, man?
Don't know. She's a ghost. So either she's still in the area scamming people, which is why I wanted to do this today, to alert people that, the scam artist is in the area going to all these hotels and businesses, or either that, she got spooked and she's on to the next city to do it again somewhere else in another state.
It's amazing. And is she illegal? Do you know?
Don't know. The interesting thing, the only thing she provided as ID was a American Bar Association card that expired in 2023. So she was a lawyer at some point. And that's the only thing that she would provide to the police officers as identification. She refused to produce a picture ID or government or state-issued ID. She didn't have one or didn't want to produce it because she was worried about being positively identified by the police.
And Max, how many hotels/motels has she ripped off?
Well, at least 5 that she's tried. And
Wow.
every single one that I called, they were like, oh, yeah, we saw her. She was in here the other night. So if you call around to the hotels, I guarantee you they've got video footage of this woman at some point within the last week and a half. She's been in the area at least that long, pulling this scam on everybody.
I have attorneys coming up and a sheriff coming up in the next hour. This is the same crap that happened in Philadelphia, and the sheriff said, screw you, we're working with ICE. Because they ordered him not to work with ICE. He said, screw you, and he took him to court. It's kind of crazy, right?
It's crazy, and it's very disheartening that, the local government is allowing these criminals to operate with impunity on the street.
Yeah.
So here, I got lucky. I called the hotel. She happened to be there. I fingered her at the hotel. That's the woman. And, the police were there. They could have apprehended her. And in Pennsylvania, fraud with an action or attempted fraud with an action, which is what she was doing. She was attempting to get hotels with fake credit card information. They could have detained her or arrested her on the pretense of her trying to commit fraud. It's state law. So they had the authority to do so, but they didn't want to do the paperwork or whatever the reasoning was. I don't know.
And Max, if it happened with her, it happens time and time again across the city, does it not?
Yeah, sure. Right. I mean, as you talk about all the time, Marty, with the same thing with these juveniles that the, advocate judges and magistrates kick because for whatever reason, these kids they don't understand what they're doing.
Now this woman knows that she commits any crime in the city with impunity, sir.
Sure, I would.
Yeah.
I'd keep on keeping on. Why not?
Wow. Max, my man, thanks, brother.
You got it, brother.
Wow.
Bye.
Wow. The Great Divide is fascinating. It's the same as the way I started out the show, this whole idea that somehow we live in a justice system that embraces crime, that rewards criminal behavior by young people. Somehow, now the whole ICE thing kind of bothers me. So you have a criminal who's ripping off hotels. And you got a guy who's got ICE on the phone, and all he wants to do is talk to her and get her the hell out of the country and do his job. And the mayor tells the cops here, go ahead and work with them. I'll fire your ass. I don't understand that. What's he doing there? What are we doing? We're enabling criminals. We're embracing criminal behavior. So now this woman who's ripped off, I was told, 6 downtown hotels, including the world's greatest hotel. Okay. That's thousands and thousands of dollars. Isn't that a crime? And the Pittsburgh cops, they know that the mayor will jack with them if they try to work with ICE. I'm told, quite frankly, that the Pittsburgh cops are so annoyed with this policy that they work with ICE on the sly and arrest these jagoffs breaking the law across the city. Hey, man, I'm not about going into classrooms and yanking little kids out and taking them and kicking them out of the country. That's not my thing. I'm not embracing that silliness. I am about embracing criminal behavior. I am about punishing lawlessness. So we have 2 examples in 1 hour in this show. Top of the show, teenager with, I think he had 13 priors. Prior number 14 was he shot his friends up at the Ross Park Mall. So somehow along the way, the legal system and the judges thought that they should reward that kid by letting him go every time he breaks the law. I don't get that. How are they helping him? No, really, who are they helping? And then this illegal who is ripping off downtown hotels for thousands of dollars. How are we helping them? I don't know. And why would the mayor, how's it to the mayor's advantage? And I heard Corey said the same thing. He won't be working with ICE. Then we won't be working with Corey. I thought you wanted to crack down on lawlessness. So you're telling me Corey O'Connor, the new mayor, is going to tell the cops the same thing as the old mayor did. If you find a woman downtown who's here illegally, who's ripped off 6 hotels, and ICE says we need your help, you're going to tell the Pittsburgh cops, screw off to ICE. How? Why? How does that help us? It doesn't. It sends them a message that they can operate with impunity. I don't know, I'll do whatever the hell I want. I'm not getting jacked with in Pittsburgh until they jack with you, Mayor, Corey. And now all of a sudden you want a cop to help you out. Mayor, Corey, Judge Sizemore. More power to a judge becoming a judge and getting that gig. It's a hell of a job. What confounds me is the lack of ability to say, you know, this little punk committed 14 crimes. He's going to kill someone at some point. I don't understand that. How does a judge think that's going to clean up this kid's head? How does a judge think allowing a kid to steal guns and rob people, allowing an illegal to rob hotels downtown, how does a judge or a mayor think that helps us as a city, as a society? Someone explain it to me like I'm in 4th grade, because I just don't get it. I just don't. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but I don't understand the pushback with wanting law enforcement not to work with ICE. I don't, what are we doing here? No wonder the crime in these cities sucks. I'm going to go and hide in Pittsburgh. I'm going to go hide in Philly, Bucks County. They tried to jack with that sheriff in Bucks County. And then there's my guy, Mike Sloop, same thing, Butler. I don't understand this crap. So let me grab both of them. This is kind of a carryover from Max's thing, in that Max finds a criminal ripping off hotels in downtown Pittsburgh. He calls the Pittsburgh cops, puts them on the phone with ICE, and ICE says, "No, we want to talk to that woman," and the cops say, "No, we're not allowed to work with you." Sheriff, how are you, sir?
I'm well, Marty. Nice to talk to you again.
It's kind of goofy, isn't it, sir? What's happening? Kind of sketchy, kind of scary, kind of anti-law enforcement once again, sir, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been in law enforcement. I'm in my 39th year, and this is insane. You know, it doesn't matter what police department, whether it's local, county, state, federal, if they're asking for help, why aren't you helping them?
Why not? Why are we doing
Exactly, why not?
Mike, play dummy for me. What are they doing? What's their idiotic rationale? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's what you hear on the news, the radio, whatever. I don't know. And you know, I have heard like, well, let them work. Well, there's a legal way to do that. There's a legal way to do that. Let it happen legally. When they come in illegally, and I challenge anyone, go to Russia, go to another country, and just get all the benefits of America. In those countries, you're going to be in their prisons, guaranteed. And then you're going to get shipped back. Guaranteed. Why there's such a I don't know. I just don't know.
Now, they got all in your grill because you had an agreement with ICE. Why? Why, Mike? What are you doing, man? Huh?
Yeah.
No,
well,
really. Huh?
I'm lucky. I mean, I have two wonderful Republican commissioners who are very supportive, you know, and I think a lot of this for the agreement piece worked around the word contract. And I don't believe it's a contract. We don't believe it's a contract because it gives the sheriff or the chief of police in some of these other jurisdictions the ability to say, yeah, I can help you. No, I can't help you right now. And if it was a contract, we would be sued if we couldn't help them because the contract would say, look, you help when we call. This is an agreement where we control what we do, how we do, and when we do it.
My man, like they were picking on you because you agreed to work with ICE, and then this adjunct professor from Pitt said, you're just a, what do you call you? An adjunct to ICE. What the hell's that supposed to mean? You're trying to do your damn job, aren't you? Huh?
Right. What? Yeah. Well, and like I testified out in Bucks County, I mean, you know, the 67 county sheriffs, they all have agreements that they have signed with other federal agencies like the FBI,
right,
like the United States Marshal Service, and they did that. And why is ICE such a big deal?
I don't know. Hold on, let me grab Tom. Maybe he's smarter than I am. Good to be the king, Tom. Tom King, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Marty. How you doing?
So play dummy for me. It happened to Mike. It happened in Bucks County. They don't want them to work with ICE. Help me with that. Why would they want to protect criminals? I don't understand. Where are we at here? What the hell's wrong with this equation?
I think it's pretty clear. They don't like the current administration. They don't like the federal agents of ICE rounding up these illegal immigrants who crossed millions crossed in the Biden administration, and so they don't like it. And when they don't like something, they try to come up with contrived legal reasons why somebody can't do something. In our case here in Bucks County,
yeah,
the Pennsylvania Sheriff's Association, we represent sheriffs whether they're Republican or Democrat.
Sure.
The principle for us was that sheriffs have the right. And by the way, you have a sheriff's an office of the sheriff in Allegheny County that has full law enforcement powers. They can do anything. They can be involved in murder cases. They can be involved in everything, and they are down there. They do a fantastic job. But we have sheriffs who will sign these agreements with ICE and won't, and some that won't. And our principle is that the sheriff needs to be able to make that decision, not to be vetoed by some county commissioner somewhere. In most counties have county commissioners. You have a county executive. But that's the principle here. But I think the bigger picture is these people, the wokesters of the world, don't want the sheriff out there working with federal law enforcement officers. That's who these folks are from ICE. They're not some private company out there doing something that they're inventing. They're out there chasing down, in many instances, really bad people. Now, and I'm not saying every single illegal alien who came to this country is a criminal, but they became a criminal when they crossed the border illegally, you know. So, but I'm not saying that they're all in the same ilk. But there are some really, really bad people out there that have committed horrendous crimes and have created a situation where there are repeated crimes in these communities. So the sheriffs who are willing to do this and have the manpower to do this are able legally to sign an agreement to cooperate with ICE when they can. So that's what Sheriff Sloop has done. We're kind of on
the path where they could just come out and say, the mayor could say, don't work with the FBI. Don't work with DEA. Don't work with ATF. Honestly, this could end nowhere, huh?
Exactly the point, and that's what Judge Trauger down in Bucks County. Bucks County is just north of Philly. It's a big county, 500,000 people in Bucks County, and that's what Judge Trauger down there said in the opinion that came out yesterday. He said, listen, the sheriffs work with the FBI. It's just what Sheriff Sloop said. They work with the FBI. They work with the federal marshals. They serve warrants. They handle bad guys. The Tree of Life shooter was housed in the Butler County Prison. That's where this guy was. Right. Yeah, you know who transported him was Sheriff Sloop's deputies. You know, and the Butler County prison guards guarded him. You know, so we work with the federal agencies all the time, and that's the way it ought to be.
So, Mike, they're trying to control you, or are they not? So they're trying to tell you what to do and when to do it, sir. Right?
Not my board. There are others that are, but not in Butler County. No. Nice. Not in Butler County. But I want to say this. Yeah, please. I myself went through this delegated immigration officer training program. Nice. Hosted by FLETC. It's a federal law enforcement training center out of Glencoe, Georgia. And all I'm going to tell you is I have more respect for these ICE guys than ever before. They go through such great lengths of training to make sure that they are getting the right people, first of all, detained, and then, if necessary, deported. They follow the current law and laws on the books. If people don't like it, get Congress to change the laws.
Right on.
Number two,
right on.
The Fourth Amendment for seizures, they follow that. They follow, there's definitions for non-immigrants, immigrants, permanent legal residents. I mean, there's so much. And as far as this, if you're brown or pick a color,
right.
They can't. They're not allowed. It's specific in the training. You cannot, because they are said color or their last name is. No, you have to, just like the police, right. You have to start out with some information. You can talk to whoever you want, and you gain reasonable suspicion to probable cause, and then you can make your arrest, whatever. So people, I think, need to take a deep breath and try to understand that they're doing their job according to the law and the Constitution.
Hey, Tom, no wonder people get this attitude about democratic cities, because the message they send is, come here and commit a crime. We won't mess with you, right?
I think it's. I mean, we've all seen it in the national news. They've created these so-called sanctuary cities, and the current administration and the head of ICE have said, we don't care if you say you're a sanctuary city or not. We're going to carry out federal law and you know, some of these people that are being arrested are really bad guys. I mean, there are murderers among them. There are child rapists. There are all sorts of criminal elements. So this whole nonsense about we're a sanctuary city. You're not a sanctuary city from the U.S. laws.
Tom King, my man. Sheriff, my man. Thanks, brother.
Back at you. Thanks, Marty.
Truth is power. Love them both. Love them both. Man, this is all coming together based on the story that Max broke at 10:30 about this con artist downtown. This woman sent us a note that has seen this firsthand. Georgine, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Tell me what happened with this woman.
Well, I'm not going to mention where, but I had her for an appointment, and she claimed that it was for a manicure, pedicure. She claimed that she had a gift card, but her suitcase exploded in the airport, and she couldn't find the gift card.
No.
So I said, well, where did you get the gift card? She said, oh, I go to the same hotel in L.A. all the time. I said, well, I'll be glad to call there for you and find out. And she said, went into this big story, how she got a car service from Pittsburgh Airport to Cleveland Airport, and the man dropped her off in Poland, Ohio, because he was being inappropriate. And she was in the middle of nowhere, dropped off, and she went into a PNC Bank, and she raved about PNC Bank helped her in Poland, Ohio.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of Poland, Ohio? She said, I go, yeah, I have. So finally, the bottom line, I left it with her. I said, you know, I would be glad to do the service if you're willing to pay. And she said, no, I want the gift card. I want you to honor the gift card.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, well, I'm sorry, ma'am. Can't do that. You're going to have to go. Then she went over to a friend's salon and tried to feed them for a blowout.
Whoa.
Then she went to the Westin Hotel, and a friend from there called me that I alerted him that they threw her out of there.
So she was working the whole city.
Oh, she's got a criminal background. If you look her up, she's been arrested in, I think, Maryland and New York and Florida, and I just think she's making the rounds here.
Well, hold on, Georgia. I love this story.
Sure.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Max, you hearing this? She's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. It's great.
She's got
like I said, she's
Hold on,
working the
Georgie,
area,
hold on.
Marty.
Max, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like I said, you know, this is her next target. So she's going to milk this area dry until she goes on to the next place. But this is what she does.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Max, you made some progress, though. What are you hearing?
So I just got off the phone with the detective, and I gave him some more information. He's going to get an arrest warrant for her, and hopefully they'll encounter her again and take her into custody. So if she's smart, she'll leave the area, but if not, she'll get picked up somewhere, hopefully. And then
Georgine, what do you feel about Pittsburgh cops saying I can't work with ICE to get her arrested? Isn't that frustrating?
I think it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Horrible. But they can go into restaurants where people are working and arrest them, and they can go in people's homes. But you have a complaint of somebody like she's literally trying to rape the city, and they can't do anything. There's something wrong.
The other thing, Marty, I forgot to mention in the first segment was she dropped a bunch of papers when I was following her, and I picked them up, and she demanded the papers back. I said, you can have them back when the police come. After the police came, I started kind of going through them, and she had hotel names, phone numbers from other states, a high-end tennis club in California with a party date, Halloween party, October 25th. I reached out to that tennis club and told them that she might be making an appearance there. They said, thanks for the heads up.
So if they had just paid attention to you and ICE, she'd be in jail, but instead she's probably out there walking around right now.
Yeah, I mean, there was absolutely no reason they couldn't have taken her in yesterday.
Go ahead, Georgine.
They said she threatened to. She had the nerve after Sunday to come back here on Monday, and she encountered someone who is in management here, and they told her they would have her trespass, and she started giving all these laws. She said, I know the laws.
Whoa.
You can't do that.
Wow.
And then she wrote a horrible Google review on us.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. Yes, she had the nerve. And the thing is, she's using her name. Her name is out there. If you look, she's been arrested Cumberland, Maryland, New York City, LA. There was even a story that she filed a thing in Florida that she couldn't find her grandmother was missing, her 94-year-old grandmother.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Marty.
Max,
Marty, she cheated a cab driver out of $950 in California.
No.
A $950 cab ride. Yeah, she stiffed the cab driver.
She did it here, too. She had a car service take her from Pittsburgh Airport, supposedly to Cleveland, and she jumped out in Poland, Ohio.
Wow.
And she beat that guy, too, and I don't know for how much.
All right, folks. I love you both. I got to take a break. That's amazing stuff.
Okay, here we go. It's a Thursday. Yeah, man, we are getting closer to that weekend. I'm with you 2 to 6 today. Colin Dunlap, KDKA.
So, if I'm an illegal, or if I want a business that I want to hire illegals, I'm moving into the city and just hanging. Because I know I ain't getting no help from the local police. That would be my plan. Anthony, go ahead. Thanks for your patience.
You know, Marty, these progressives are allowing their hatred for Trump to interfere with their common sense.
No, it's true.
And they're hurting our republic. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a prime example. When Barack Obama was president, he was given a nickname, the deporter in chief.
Hold on. At least 4 times as many and 4 times as aggressive. Go ahead.
Right. So, and they did. Did you see anything like that when he was president?
Nothing ever.
No. And why did Barack Obama do that? Because immigration is in the purview of the federal government. You county, you state, you city have an obligation to cooperate. That you take an oath to do that.
So I heard this debate last week, which is so horrible, with Corey and what's his name, and Corey said he wasn't going to work with ICE. That's a mistake.
Yes, I heard it.
That's just ignorant. Here we go.
It is ignorant.
Same old, same old.
Yes. Well, you don't say you weren't warned. I said he was progressive light. So, I mean, look, yeah, I heard him say we're walking in city is fine. You don't welcome criminals.
No.
You know, I mean, and see, here's the little undercut they don't like to talk about. Because I tell black folks, this is not our issue. I tell them all the time, you stay out of that. Because they're taking resources out of your city, your neighborhoods to give to people here illegally. So we pay the taxes. These businesses pay the taxes. It's not for people to come. Listen, Marty, if people were declaring that they need because they're being tortured in their country,
right.
Marty, most of them cross 8 countries before they get to the United States.
Well, how about this scam
there?
going on live right now in downtown Pittsburgh, and Max brings it to the attention of the cops, and they say, go away.
Yeah, but Marty, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And it hurts all of us.
It does.
Because why would you want people who are here illegally to do I have a vested interest? Yeah, because some illegal tore up my classic 1993 convertible.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm mad about it because they weren't supposed to be here at all, and it was a business truck that he tore my car up in.
Wow. So Max finds this woman conning people at downtown hotels. You heard the woman live.
Yeah.
Max
I've seen it.
calls the cops. Then he puts them on the phone with ICE, and they say, nah, we're not allowed to work with you. We'll get fired. So the woman is now conning someone else.
The police officers should test it. Test it. I would test it. And if I were a policeman, I would test it. Because the police officer is following the law.
Right,
The person who put out the illegal information to tell you not to do it, they're violating the law.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. One of my boys sent me a note. Pittsburgh will sure take federal money, but they won't work with federal agents. Jagoffs.
Well, it's a mistake, and it's really a slap in the face to our constitutional republic because they have an obligation. They take an oath, Marty, to do this.
It is.
Thank you.
Thanks, my man. He's family to me, and I could talk to him every day. He should be a talk host. He's that good. John, my man, thanks for your patience. Go ahead.
Marty, I always love your show. Hey, so based on what Mad Max said about this lady, multiple crimes around the city, clearly none of those are getting reported or filed. Can we believe anything that the mayor's office or this administration says about crime stats going down? Because of course it's bullcrap. If you don't report it, it's not a crime.
Why would you? It's a joke.
Right. Anything this administration says, complete joke. And the next one coming in, clearly he's not, as Anthony said, he's not going to be that much different if he's going to stick along the same path, just a lighter version.
Couldn't agree more. I like Corey. He's a nice person, but couldn't agree more. I don't get the Law and Order vibe. I just don't. And in terms of the progressive judges, there are 8 of them. 8 of 10. And by the way, I blame you folks who are too lazy to vote. I blame the old people who shuffle into the voting booth and pull the Democratic lever and don't care if they're voting for far left freaks. But whoever I want to blame, they're in office. You know, there's these mic flags. You know what a mic flag is if you're watching the stream? A mic flag is an identifier. It says KDKA on it, and it's stuck on the mic. So if you're out in the field or if you're on the air streaming, I'm waving it around right now. Every single day it falls in my lap. Listen to it. Just falls off. Listen. They have this thing called glue. Yeah, it's crazy how it works. Get it? Crazy glue. What troubles me is that woman who was on the air here. That woman told the truth. So the con artist was in the salon of the Fairmont Hotel. Really expensive. Gorgeous hotel. And she was ripping them off live. And I'm told she worked her way through downtown and hit the world's greatest hotel. And I reached out to my boys, and we'll see what they say, the William Penn, that she ripped off 6 hotels downtown. And somehow, some way, that wasn't good enough for the mayor to allow the cops to work with ICE. Bad move, Mayor. Bad. I find it kind of weird that they'll put a boot on a car and they'll throw you in jail for traffic tickets, but they won't work with ICE to arrest people breaking the law. I don't get it. Kind of weird. And the Corey stuff, again, I've liked him. I loved his father. I wish him the best. We'll support him as much as we can, but it has that progressive vibe to it. And you know who knows what I'm saying better than anyone? My man Jim, who's been in politics for decades. It has that vibe to it, doesn't it, man?
That vibe is actually becoming a reality from what I can see.
What's that mean when I say it has that progressive vibe in your translation, which is what's relevant here?
Well, what that means is he's completely turned his back on what I consider the moderate base of the city. All he's interested in is these progressive things. If you watch even his social game, he's at all the progressive picnics.
I noticed that.
And parties.
Why, though?
Well, because basically, and I like the kid, don't get me wrong, but he is a progressive.
Well, so then I get hacked off, and I think you even pointed this out. I sent him a text. You should bag that screwing up the bike lane, the strip district, making it 1 lane, and I get a text back that he can't go against the bike riders, which is what you're talking, the same idiots. You know what I mean? Same thing.
Well, this is what I'm saying. And if you wanted to be genuine, why should I, because I drive a car, pay for their bike lanes? You put a license on them bikes. if you want us to take city money and put actual bike lanes
Plus,
in
it's
there.
that whole.
This is
And another thing Jim's saying that's right. He's at every friggin' progressive event. Every single one.
If you put a mask on him, you would think it's Ed campaigning.
So why would he tell ICE to go to hell? I don't understand that. How does that help him?
First of all, I don't see the value in coming out against something that's really not in your lane.
Right on.
You know, and but you're going to want federal money though in other areas, and you have a president that somebody's going to put in his ear. Why should you give him anything? All he does is trash you.
Right.
That's the reality of politics in the back room, Marty. You know that.
Yeah.
It's
And by the way, he's hiring the same old far left liberals that ran previous mayor's office, including Peduto's people. Seriously.
Well, you know, water seeks its own level. I could tell right away by who he's listening to.
Yeah.
He don't want to hear it. And I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
We have a serious teenage lawless problem in this city.
It's insane.
Exactly. And as the next mayor, he does not want to get in front of public safety. No, he wants to tell you, well, people need to go to recreation centers. I'm not sending my grandkids to no recreation center in this city. Are you crazy? That's exactly where the next crimes will take
It's
place.
just ignorant. I'm worried about it. Hey, I got to ask you something because I think you brought this up last year, and I haven't gone to buy completely out of left field. You pointed out last year how expensive Halloween candy. Is it expensive this year too? I haven't noticed. I haven't been there yet.
It's actually, from what I'm reading, is went up another like 17-18%.
Whoa! So you haven't bought any
Yeah,
yet?
because they're saying because in Africa where they get these chocolate cocoa plants, that there's huge droughts over there. So the candy companies are trying to move more to like candies that don't have chocolate, like for Halloween and stuff. But that's when the stuff's going to hit the fan, Marty. Mark my words.
Oh, my man.
When the furnaces come back on and people are paying for Halloween and they start thinking about all my relatives I don't like are coming for Thanksgiving, I got to pay for this.
Oh,
and then the layaways for Christmas.
I'm with you.
Now people's attention are going to be like it was when Trump won.
So
here
we
go.
go.
The people in charge better start thinking about that.
Waking up. Thanks, Jimbo. You ever been in a house of a hoarder? Have you? Trevin? You? It's unbelievable. It is. It's actually sad.
No, I haven't.
It's unbelievable.
Those pictures.
Most of it's mental illness stuff. I was at a house of a hoarder in the city, and the guy had product. I mean, urine, fecal matter, furniture, food. I'm not exaggerating, up to his neck, and he wouldn't leave. It took 3 years to get him out. This is where we're at, man. He had a wealthy family, too. He probably doesn't remember, but it was the sheriff's people then. They were amazing. Krause's people are amazing. It's the best sheriff's department I've ever been around. Attentive, aggressive, professional, young, kind. So, I'm telling you this because this wonderful man who owns property in the city for decades reached out to me and says, hey, some guy moved into my rental property. I said, okay. We go over to the house. Guy won't come out. That guy who's now become my friend David, and he joins us. It's something you never expected to happen in your life, is it not, sir?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey, David, before I grab the sheriff, I got to be honest with you, man. I've been to several houses where there was hoarding. What they left behind in your house is no different than the worst case of hoarding I've ever seen in my life, right?
Yeah, along with drug paraphernalia as well. Syringes and Narcan.
Empty syringes everywhere to the point where it could be dangerous, right?
Yep, absolutely.
They turned your house into a drug den and a drug house and a flop house and a homeless shelter, did they not, sir?
Yeah, there were 7 people living in there.
Krause told me this morning he thinks there might have been 9.
It could be.
And they were in there for how long?
3 months.
3 months. Living without paying a nickel.
Yep.
And they move out, and you have to pay for the mover, the storage, the cleanup, and a locksmith, right?
Yep. I have to put their crap into storage.
Hey, all told, soup to nuts, how much is this going to cost you?
Probably $30,000.
Wow. You know, without Krause's people, they're still in there, aren't they?
Absolutely. Those guys were great.
Hey, the sheriff joins me this morning, and I'm guessing the sheriff's going to say, I've seen this movie before. Have you not, sir? This is kind of sort of what happens, is it not, sir?
Marty, is that a question for me?
Yes, sir. This happens a lot, does it not, sir? These people won't leave.
Yeah, it happens frequently. You know, and I can understand and appreciate the frustration of the property owner. But there's a process that plaintiffs or property owners go through where they have to get a court order, file it at the Department of Court Records, and they bring it to us and pay a fee to serve. And it's a writ of possession where essentially, in this case, it's called an ejectment, but it's similar to an eviction. But the difference is the individuals inside this property have no legal right to be there. So what we do, we go eject them from the property, and the plaintiff, as you described that process of changing the locks and other things that are required to do during this process.
I think what is confounding, sir, and Sheriff, you saw the pictures. It's kind of disgusting, right? I mean, it's disgusting.
It was deplorable, at the least.
Yeah. And go ahead, sir.
You know, I mean, we're compassionate, you know, people that are on hard times or you know, they're addicted, or, you know, but we're also compassionate to, you know, the property owners that a lot of times they feel they don't have any rights, and they're just going through a long process to finally come to a resolution. And once we get the court order in these types of cases, we try and do that process as expedient as we can do. Just because I respect the
Sheriff, though, I think that it's shocking, though, to him. This guy he would never have left if it wasn't for you people, right? I'm serious, right?
Well, like I said, I mean, we're executing an order of court.
Yeah.
And like I said, we try to do it expeditiously just because of the seriousness of, you know, damage to property.
Yeah.
But, you know, they have no legal right to be there. So once we get the order from a judge, you know, that's the process that takes place.
Sheriff, how many did you say there were 5 or 7, or how many people were in there once your guys got in there?
9 people.
9. Wow.
Yes.
9. And Sheriff, I think what's confounding to guys like my friend Dave here and myself, no one's broken the law here. No one gets handcuffed. No one gets thrown in jail. Instead, my man gets handed a bill for $30,000. It is frustrating, is it not, sir, for the general public who hears these stories?
I mean, I understand the inherent frustration where you own a house, you own a piece of property, and somebody's, you know, has intruded and won't leave. You know, so, you know, I can't speak for the courts, but there's a process that's involved in this, and I understand frustration of property owners that have to go through it. I get it.
Sheriff Krause's people were nothing but professional, nothing but above board, and handle it magnificently. But David, without Krause's people and the court order, that guy would have stayed in your house until he retired, would he not have, sir?
Absolutely. And, you know, him and all his buddies, too, because it started out, it was him and another guy. The other guy had an outstanding arrest warrant, so they took him away, and they left him. I mean, I don't have a problem with the process. I mean, what not so happy about is the timeline for it. And I know it's not out of the hands of the sheriff, but I mean, for, that I have to file a court, a motion for a court order, which is fine, but why does he have 30 days to respond to it?
No, the process sucks, and the sheriff's just doing his job. Sheriff, I appreciate you, man.
All right, Marty, thanks a lot, and stay safe out there.
My man, before you go, our old friend, and Kevin and I go way back. There was a time and place where our old friend George Trotsky and his people would have handled this a lot differently, sir. And you don't have to comment, but you know what I'm saying, right?
I do.
Kevin Krause, thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, Marty.
Dave, thank you, my man.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care.
A lot of people, folks, wanted to kick someone's ass, quite frankly. I had a lot of players say, I want to go over there and kick someone's ass. And I said, no, we can't do that, like they used to.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20. And we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
So, Carlos is my man with Greater Pitt Tree Service. This is the kind of work they do. Woman with a beautiful home in Squirrel Hill sends me this note just yesterday. Marty, Greater Pitt Tree Service, working hard at my house, making my trees look pretty. Not sure, but at least 6 trucks showed up, and I said, guys, I have 3 trees, not a forest. It's that kind of company. It's that kind of service. It's that kind of work. Greater Pitt Tree Service, 412-884-TREE, 412-884-TREE.
Make 380 Auction to Murraysville your next stop for discounts and bargains. Trucks come in every week. 380 Auction has name brand furniture, fall mums, also tools, birdseed, automotive supplies, pet supplies, lawn and garden, toys, food, and new items arriving daily. 380 Auction is open Tuesday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or call 724-339-3132. That's 724-339-3132. Or log on to shop380.com and save. You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
NASCO Roofing. Here's why I love NASCO. First of all, woman needed a roof and her husband. Horrible situation with the roof. Massive hole on the roof. No one would fix it. $20,000 plus job. Jerry Nasseri, NASCO Roofing. Fix it for free. The work is unbelievable. The warranty, the work, the labor, guaranteed. Absolutely the best products, the best staffing, the best pricing, the best service, and they care. NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000.
Open enrollment is here until December 7th. Will your doctors remain in network? Get free personalized Medicare plan comparisons from locally owned Need Part C right now. Top national and regional carriers. Medicare can be confusing, but it doesn't have to be with Need Part C. NeedPartC.com.
CBS Eye on Veterans from ConnectingVets.com. Army combat veteran and Purple Heart recipient Phil Bauer describes how tough life was living with the after effects of war.
Engaging thoughts and speech, and it was like I was out looking for a fight.
But thanks to his incredible service dog, he now has support that never leaves his side.
I feel like I'm a witch doctor when I speak about the intrinsic values of the dog, the companionship that, I don't have to worry about crying or anything because my dog's always right there. Even as we're talking right now, she's snuggled up behind me.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
We had bad chairs, like they were worn out, and the boss got new chairs. And now they're really small, and I'm down below the... Anyone on the stream notice I'm sitting down below the surface of the broadcast studio? I'm now Marty Lilliput. I'm now one of the Munchkins in the Oz, Wizard of Oz. We are the lollipop train, the lollipop train. What happened? I asked the boss, can we put that? Nah, it's as high as it goes. Oh no, man, this is a little odd. Someone got to do. Hey, buy the short chairs, get one free. Anyone see this on the stream? Man,
I didn't pay attention until you said something. But now that I see you, you can't unsee it.
My man Trevor is like laughing at me because he knows what I'm talking about. My chin is on the board where all the controls are. My chin. I digress. This scenario with these squatters. Old school, all my boys that own real estate, and a bunch of them do, and a bunch of them texted me. They'd have gone over there and kicked that guy's ass. I'm not saying that's the proper thing to do. That would have happened. One day. Done. Bye. I went over there, by the way, with the property owner, and we knocked on the door, and we actually opened the door, and the guy was in there. He told us to go to hell, and we went and left. And I texted the idiot who was living in there. He said he wasn't leaving because he had to save some money. Okay. Turns out he was selling drugs in there and using drugs in there and had... Guys, the two engineers just walked past. They're afraid to make eye contact. They know how short these chairs are. Hey, my man. Hey, come in here for a second, please. Come in here, please. Please come in here. Come right up to the microphone. Come on. Tell everybody who you are.
What's up? I'm Tom.
You're Tom. Tom's one of my favorite people. Now, Tom, you're an honest young man, right?
Yeah.
Would you consider this chair that they gave me to be a little short?
I think maybe so.
My chin is on the board, Tom. So the old chair had stains and puke and vomit and fecal matter on it. This one is new, but my chin is on the countertop. Tom.
Is it a good trade-off?
No. Thank you. You guys got a deal, didn't you? There's some deal. Buy 4 short chairs, get 4 short chairs for free kind of deal. Oh. Carol, go ahead. Thanks for holding.
Oh, Marty, you just don't want to get too high there.
You're right. I like being lowly.
I have a different situation. I have a code violation with my neighbor.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I'm sitting in my car right now. The grass just looks like it's out in a forest or whatever, that's never been taken care of. The trees, the vines, whatever, are growing across the wires.
Oh.
I don't know if it's the cable, the whatever.
In the city. In the city.
No, it's in Penn Hills.
Oh, and have you reported this?
And I have reported it many times.
And what happens?
It was nothing.
Nothing. That's what it is.
And they say it takes time. And I understand. And the guy, time. My house is for sale. I don't have time.
Oh wow!
Nobody's going to buy my home.
No, not if the next door looks.
My home.
No, not if it looks like that. Yeah.
Yes, and I keep reporting and I keep calling, and the thing about it is, everything that I've did to keep my house up and do the right thing for the codes and everything that I have to do, I'm going to have to redo it again if I'm going to put my house back on the market.
Right on.
I mean, this is like $250 for this, $300 for that. But,
and there's
we're not talking about little stuff. It's like test the water, I don't know what they do.
And there's no enforcement. None. She's right. Horrible. Carol, send me a video of the house next door, please. Rhett, go ahead. Rhett.
Oh, hey, Marty.
What's up, man?
I didn't hear the very beginning of what was going on with the ejectment thing, but I understand the frustration of the property owner, and I understand frustration of how long the process may take. He got out of there in 3 months. That actually goes pretty quick.
No, it's
I'm
true.
an attorney.
It's true.
I practice in the area of real estate. The reason why it takes 30 days is that's due process. That's our Constitution.
Maybe so, but he lived in his house for 4 months. 4 months, man.
I guess the reason...
Told the guy to screw off. Broke into his house and moved in, turned it into a drug house and a homeless shelter. Due process. Yeah, that's what that is.
Well, we need to hear the gentleman's story because I want to share with you. I've had hundreds of cases where a property owner or a landlord says the same thing.
Okay, because that's not the case here. Because I spent time on this. I spent time on this. I am not allowing you to take the side of a bum in this case. Sorry, man. Email me your info. I'd love to talk to you. Get Marty at KDKRadio.com. Get Marty at KDK.com. If he paid attention, he would know that the guy broke into this man's house, lived there for 4 months, caused $30,000 damage, turned into a drug house and was selling drugs in there, and somehow Brett thinks he was mistreated? No. Go away, man.